Hey guys, welcome back to the Rido Waxing UK One Wheel channel. So, another snowboard in the workshop. We've got a Burton Clash this time. This thing is lovely. Like I say, very nice board. Is a Burton Clash. Now it's styling the actual Burton freestyle bindings. So 3-hole fixing, so kind of like an earlier generation binding. We're going to clean up this top coat. And yeah, we're going to obviously take the bindings off and service the base of this board. Now, the base of this board has come and it is covered in wax. Which obviously we're going to have to remove. The edges themselves are pretty dull. They've got a bit of shine. We just did the Burton Custom. Now that's a twin sister board to this one here. Now that needed an immense amount of work. This one isn't quite as bad, but we're going to get this one to shine. I'm hoping this translucent base. Normally on the earlier Burtons, this base comes up really, really well. It takes a bit of work, but we can get this real shine on it. And if you do check out some of my videos, obviously on my channel, you'll actually see the Burton bases are kind of like, I don't know, you can kind of pull them back, should we say. And that Burton Custom that I did, the yellow one, 2004 board, that has come up lovely considering how it came in. So there's no reason why this bad boy can't do the same. So, let's pop you in my hand. Let's have a detailed look at this board. We're going to have a look at the bindings so we can work out what's what. So the customer can actually have a quick look of these. So I'm going to put this binding up here and this binding here up here, and that way then you're going to know if you ever need to swap these bindings onto another board, the exact geometry of these bindings, so it doesn't affect any time on the mountain, because that's the best place to be, is in the powder with a snowboard, big grin on your face and loving life. So let's have a quick look at this Burton Clash. So here we are. Top coat needs a real good polish. We're going to get that sorted out. Again, bindings wise, we are literally 2 degrees off center. I would say this is a goofy rider because the stomp pad is at the back. So this would be your front foot because your foot would come out and that's where you'd hold your foot. So you'd be facing that way, in my opinion. And we've got minus, or should we say a 2 degree positive on this one. So yeah, literally just pretty much a neutral stance. So not too bad at all. Now we've got a bolt just exposed just here and we've got one just here. So again, if you ever need to set this up, you can put it straight back in the same place. Bindings look all good. Checked all the clip-in settings on the back. These mimic and are the same, so we've got the same ride on the back pressure. And you can adjust these depending on how much push you want into, obviously, the back of your boot. And again, you can adjust these bindings here, inside here, if you needed to adjust this down to get a tighter one. If you've got a slightly smaller boot and you want to pull this in tighter, you can actually adjust these on here. So the Burton bindings are really, really good, to be honest with you. They're quite a rigid binding. You've got a front stomp pad, which is here, which just obviously holds your toes from the snow for when you're carving over and anchoring it over. So nice. Let's just pop this over, though. Yep. Obviously, we will be taking these bindings off. Let me just fold that in a second. There we go. Lay it down flat. So, base of the board. Again, edges aren't too bad, but we're going to get these detailed at all. I think possibly we've got a bit of storage wax on this board, so it's been waxed so it doesn't go rusty or gets affected by the bad weather. That rail there, again, not too bad. It's dull. It's not super sharp, and we'll get that detailed. But yeah, this is the base of the board. Doesn't look like there'd be maybe there too much P-Tex. Now I won't know until we scrape this wax off on this board. So what I might do is actually going to scrape this wax off, because then I can edge this properly, opposed to getting all sorts of dodgy edging. If there's lumps of wax, the actual tool will not run flat across the base, so it could affect the edge of this ski. So we're going to scrape this off first, clean it up, and then we're going to do the edging. Then we'll come back to the base, and then we'll sort the base out. Whatever's needed, we'll put into it, and then we'll wax it, let it warm up in the warm room, and then we'll pull it back out after 5-6 hours. When it's cooled, we'll strip the wax off and have a look and see how shiny it is. Right, let's take these bindings off, and let's go. Okay guys, right, just thought I'd bring this up. I've had quite a few people message me over this, obviously, which is fantastic because it means you're watching my videos, which I absolutely love. And it's questions of why you would wax your board and should they leave the wax on when they go snowboarding and skiing. No. The whole idea is you put the wax on the board, you iron it in, the pores of the board open up, absorbing the wax into the board. Well, every time I service a board, I always go over just before I wax it with this brush here. This is a copper brush with a horsehair outlining, and you don't scrub it. You go down and up, and you create structure within the board or the ski, unless the ski is relatively new and it has the structure already there. You only really need to put that in if you're P-texing or if you're base scraping, because you can take that structure away. You need to polish your board after you've waxed it. So, clean the board, make sure the board is ready to go and absorb some wax. It's clean, it's flat, it's smooth. It is ready to absorb that wax. Put the wax on, you drip it in, you iron it on. You get the board or the ski nice and warm. Feel the inside of the board. You don't want it really hot, so you don't want to leave it in one place like you would with a shirt. You want to keep it going nice and steady, covering all aspects of the board or the ski, keeping the heat in the board. That way then the pores open up, the wax gets absorbed into the actual board or ski. You let it set, you let it dry, and then you scrape all that wax off back to the base material. And that's what a lot of people struggle with, because they leave the wax on the board and then they go snowboarding or skiing and they don't realise, but their board or skis are really slow, okay? Because you've got all that extra drag material, because obviously the wax is quite sticky. Take it all off. I use a horsehair brush or a nylon brush first off. You buff the actual board, opening up that structure, pulling all the wax out of that structure. You get little ball bearings, and I'll show you a little bit later on when I actually do polish this board. You then use a multitude of brushes, so you can go down in softness until the board is extremely shiny. That is the best time to take your board or ski out on the snow. Now this is a great little video which I've recently done. This is a set of Fisher skis. That is what they came in the workshop looking like. We've got very dull, fluffy, there's no colour in the word Fisher, there's yellow and black, there is no definition, the rail's really rusty, and basically you can see the structure of the ski, but that is what it should look like when you're finished. Polished, cleaned and detailed. Look at the word Fisher, look at the yellow to the black, and you can actually see the lines in the structure of that ski, because we have pulled all that wax out by brushing it. This one's a slightly better shot. You can see the lines? That is where you need to get to with your board. Polish it and clean it. It will only ever last a week, maybe 4 days, depending how hard you're skiing or snowboarding. That's fine. That's why you wax it again. And like I say, if you're on a real heavy week of snowboarding and skiing, sometimes it's worth to wax it halfway through. But that way then you'll get optimum performance. Do not leave residue of wax on the base of your board. It will slow you down and it will hamper your day on the mountain. Hopefully that's answered all your questions. And that's why the back end of all my videos, I always flip the ski around and let you have a look, because you can see how shiny and smooth it is. That's the goal. Anyway, I'm rambling on. Let's crack on and get on with this board. One Burton Clash, ready for the rework. Here we go. We're going to start stripping the wax off of this. This is going to come up lovely. A little bit like its twin brother, the Burton Clash, which I did. So do check that out. Like I said, 2004, that board. So getting on to 20 years old. And yeah, still looking really good. I'm really pleased with that board. It's come up lovely. Boy, it was a lot of work. This would have been quite a fair bit of work, to be honest with you. Did quite a bit of P-texing around the actual middle area here, and obviously have some scarring down the edges, which we've done. We've basically base scraped that. We've edged it, we've dulled it, we've Make sure we reduced any catching points, which is what it's all about. And now we're going to strip the wax off and polish this thing up, and hopefully the before and after will be amazing. So guys, stay tuned for that. Let's stick some tunes on though, talking about tunes, and let's crack on and get this Clash looking awesome. Here we go. One Burton Clash, all done. Check out the shine on this bad boy. Woohoo! From tip to tail. We've got the base of this board superbly flat. It is superbly polished. The edges are absolutely on point. And actually what I did do off camera is I did actually what they call a hot wax scrape. Because this had some obviously old dirty wax on it, I've lost it, but it was really yellow in colour and really grubby. I actually scraped it all off. I actually laid down some fresh wax, and then I base scraped that off before it actually set, and that actually pulls out all the dirty wax from the board. Worked on the board, and then I've laid down fresh wax, and that way then we've got fresh wax in this board, and like I say, it's all now to be improved upon. So when this board comes back, if the gentleman Ben wants to service it again, we can get more wax in this board, we could polish it again, we could detail it. The more we do that, the better it will come up. It's a bit like that Burton Custom. That board has not been touched for a long time, and that had quite a few battle scars. Hang on a second. It's all wrapped up, ready to go back, and it looks mint. Absolutely mint, that board. Really pleased with that one. So these guys, Ben and his pals, should have an awesome time on these boards, and that's it. Another board done in the Ride Waxing Workshop. Guys, hit that like, share with your friends, subscribe to the channel. If you want to go in the description, obviously below, then please do so. There's two ways you can support the channel. If it's just a case of buying me a coffee, it all helps. I can then get things like Ride Waxing hoods and jumpers, and eventually, once I get enough money, I can start giving them out to people for free, which would be really cool. So guys, until next time, from the Ride Waxing Workshop and this awesome Burton Clash, we will see you soon.